Welcome back, everyone, to another weekly episode of Sports Fellas. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's your host, Carlos.
And this is Dristan.
What's up, Dristan? Welcome back again. So we are in Week 9 right now in the NFL season. A lot of ups and downs and people injured, people missing time. So before we dive in, let's just go ahead and give a quick thank you to our following sponsors.
Are you needing some insurance? Give our good friend Ernie Ruelas with State Farm Insurance a call. Like a good neighbor, Ernie's there. You can call him at 1-316-682-2300. Or if you're in Wichita, come see his office at 11330 East Central, Suite 400 at Central and Greenwich.
All right, welcome back. So, Tristan, we're in Week 9. First up on the game, we got the New York Jets visiting the Indianapolis Colts. So last week we saw that the Jets won with their. Now is the rookie? Is he a rookie? The quarterback?
That I am not quite sure.
Okay,
I think
we need
so.
to. Hey Eric, can you help us out while we're talking about it? See if he's a rookie or not. So, anyways, thank you. So while we're waiting, here's the thing: they're going to Indianapolis. Indianapolis has not been blown out in none of their games so far. They stuck it out with Tennessee. I mean, hey, they were able to make sure that Derrick Henry had that injury. You know, that's unfortunate for all the Titan fans out there, because right now with Derrick Henry being gone, it's going to be tough for them. And I think right now they're in command of the AFC South, but Indianapolis has not given up. And this can be a staple game for them. So what do you see going on here, Dristan?
Okay, well, first off, the Jets are looking good. Mike White came out through for like 400 yards, I think like 3 touchdowns. They finally got Michael Carter, was doing amazing that game. And then even the backup running back, Ty Johnson, was also popping off. So the Jets are looking like they're in a good spot right now. And as for the Colts, they're not bad, but they're not one of the better teams in my opinion. So I feel like this could be a close game. Carson Wentz is all right. Michael Pittman has been doing really good. And, of course, they have Jonathan Taylor. So I think this will be a close game. But who I go with winning, I'll have to say I'm going to go with the Jets. I'll go with the underdogs and say the Jets just because Mike White had an amazing first game starting, and I feel like he'll keep that momentum and it'll transfer over to the next game. Same with Michael Carter. I love Michael Carter. I love that running back, so I have high hopes for him. And the Colts, I think they'll put up a fight. I think it'll be a close game, but, yeah, I'll go with the Jets.
That's not bad, because last week on the air, I said that the Bengals were going to beat the Jets. Was I wrong?
Yeah, I think we were all wrong on that one.
I almost put in my resignation. I said, hey, you know what, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and just unplug everything and shut it down. But in the words of my friend Kyle here, thank you, and also shout out to our friend Kyle here in the studio that's here. He told me about Michael Pittman, and he told me in my fantasy football, hey, you should get Michael Pittman. And since then, he's been astronomical. I mean, the guy, him and Carson Wentz have connected. I can tell T.Y. Hilton's he's on the downside, so I don't know how that's going to work. But it's primetime game Thursday night, and the Jets, they're going to go into Indianapolis with confidence, but I still think that Indianapolis is going to win this game. So we're at odds there. So next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons visiting the New Orleans Saints. Shout out to Tay. He's a big New Orleans fan. His team just won, the Atlanta Braves. He's a Braves fan, and they just won. So congrats to Atlanta Braves for winning their second World Series in Atlanta. Congratulations. Now, Atlanta had they lost last week to Carolina. Yeah. Matt Ryan had a nasty injury, got stepped on in his hand. That was pretty gruesome. New Orleans, on the other hand, they beat the defending Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay. They always give Tom Brady such a hard time. This is a divisional game. Who you taking and why, Tristan?
Okay. First I'll go with the Saints. I think the Saints are gonna win this weekend. A few reasons is, of course, Matt Ryan had that. They stepped on his hand. That looked rough. I don't think he's gonna be out though, is he? Yeah, he'll still be in, but they also lost Calvin Ridley, the number 1. So I think that means Russell Gage is gonna have to step up, and Russell Gage hasn't been doing too much besides Calvin Ridley. They still have Kyle Pitts, which is there, but losing Calvin Ridley, I think is a big hit, and they're already a terrible team. not to be mean to any Atlanta fans, but they're not very good this season. And the Saints, they've been on a roll. They lost Jameis Winston. He's done for the season, it looks like, because he tore his ACL. So Taysom Hill's going to have to step up. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I think overall, even with Jameis Winston out, the Saints are a much better team in my opinion.
This is pretty interesting because they're still at home. I mean, Alvin Kamara lights Kamara action. The guy's still a primetime one of the top running backs in the league.
And Mark Ingram, he came in and made a big role in his first game back with the Saints.
Can you believe that? That's a dual punch there. And also, with Atlanta, I mean, we see that Cordell Patterson has stepped up. I mean, he's taken more reps than Mike Davis. Mike Davis is the star running back for Atlanta, and he has not been productive at all. And so now that they lost in Calvin Ridley, it's looking real tough because I don't think Gage is that prime time receiver.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to draw up some schemes, but they're going to the NOLA. There's no way they're going to win. They can't be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been wrong before, so I know you guys will probably have a checklist and thinking, he said it this week. He said it this week. So I'm going to stay on top of this and say, no, I don't think they're going to win. So New Orleans is trying to make a stride to get into the wild card.
Yep.
If they keep on a roll and Tampa Bay starts slipping, I mean, they could take the division, but we know already what happened last year. You know, the New Orleans had Tampa Bay's number, and then you saw what happened. Tampa Bay beat them in the divisional round. So we both agree. So we've got the Saints. Okay. Next up, we have my team, the Denver Broncos, going to America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. First of all, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to all the Denver fans. My friend Jen, of course, Darren, and my family, my sister. We're Bronco fans. Now, on the Dallas side, we've got quite a bit. I want to say shout out to my friend Brian, the Brooks family. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, James Muniz. All right, guys. So this is real simple. Denver, we're in a transition here. All right, I know. If we had a slow beat, kind of hit home, hit like a John Denver song, just something, in our feelings. Because right now, Denver, we let go our leader in Von Miller. This is the guy that was the Super Bowl MVP, and we let him go. It was kind of we kind of see it. We saw it coming.
Yeah. We
saw it coming. And right now, with Melvin Gordon not really being productive as much as he used to be, also, we're just Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, he's a good quarterback. We don't have really a line for him. So it's just Denver right now. When we were 3-0, we were on top of the world, and then we sank like the Titanic. We dropped. So we're going into Dallas. Dallas is riding high right now, especially with that awesome win against Minnesota. Shout out to Chaz and Todd and Greg. It was a tough break for Minnesota. I mean, that's because, Kirk Cousins. He just couldn't really get nothing going. But Dallas is riding high right now. And, gosh, their secondary is awesome. Parsons from Penn State, he is a beast. He's going to be a menace.
Yes.
In the NFC. And I have them as a sleeper. I'm going to throw it out there right now. I have them going. I might give them NFC Championship. I'm not going to jump on Super Bowl yet, but I'm going to give them NFC Championship.
I agree.
But we'll see how that goes. So simply, I have to go against my team. I know you might think I'm not a real fan. I know you guys. I get it. I'd be upset too. But it's just, we got to look at the facts. Dallas is just a better equipped team. And offensively, now they found in Cedric Wilson now, him and Cooper Rush. That's an awesome dynamic duo. Well, of course, when you guys come off the practice squad together and you guys practice, you guys are going to have more of a rapport than with the other guys. Is Michael Gallup back from IR yet?
I do not think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
And then now you've got a good set of running, because Zeke didn't even have a big game Sunday night.
Mm. Yeah, that was a pretty low scoring game.
So I mean, they're well equipped around, and I just don't think Denver's going to be able to handle it. So I got Dallas. Who do you got?
Yes, I got Dallas too, and I will agree with you. I think Dallas is one of the biggest sleepers in the NFC. I think so. Last year they had an amazing offense, but what stopped them from winning games was their defense. Their defense was just disastrous. Now this year they've really turned it around, honestly. So, yeah, with that amazing defense and that great offense, man, I feel like there's no stopping Dallas. They won with the backup quarterback. They won with Cooper Rush, and that just proves, hey, they can win with a backup, and Dak's 100 times better than Cooper Rush. So, yes, I agree. Dallas is one of the NFC sleepers. I feel like they could make it to an NFC championship. And, who are they playing this week, you said? Denver? Yeah, and Denver, they're not a bad team, but they're going through it right now, man.
So my team sucks that bad you forgot who they were playing against?
Yeah.
We're just talking about them. This guy.
I'm glad that you would admit that. But, yeah, bro, the Cowboys, they're a force to be reckoned with this season. And I don't see Denver – I feel like it's going to be like a 2-score game. So.
Oh, wow. That's just depressing.
Yeah. Cowboys by 14.
All right, let's just go ahead and move on before the salt in the wound keeps getting deep. Let's just stop while we're there. All right, so we got the New England Patriots visiting the Carolina Panthers. Well, New England, again, took care of the Los Angeles Chargers last week. I mean, Justin Herbert and the Chargers still can't find a way to beat New England. I don't know why this keeps happening, but it is what it is.
I'm not complaining. It helps me out.
And then we have Carolina that got their win. They were on, I think, a 3-game losing streak ever since they visited Dallas, and they found their win last week against Atlanta. So it's in Charlotte. There's still no Christian McCaffrey, am I right?
I actually think he may be coming back this week.
Okay.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because somebody in fantasy started him this week, so I'm assuming that means he's back.
Okay.
But I haven't looked into it.
All right. The thing is, New England knows how to play against teams like Carolina. Okay, they're going to run the ball, might have little schemes here and there. Sam Darnold has been inconsistent.
He started off strong and then just sort of
fell off. And then
off.
Robbie Anderson got rocked last week. That was a nice hit. The Atlanta defense, he looked like he was about to retire. He's like, I just can't do it no more. The problem is Carolina is missing so many pieces, and they're struggling. So I think New England, and we're talking about Bill Belichick. He knows how to scheme against them. So I'm going to take New England.
I'll go with New England too. I think the Panthers. New England's been picking up this season, and I think overall they're just a better team this week. Even with Christian McCaffrey back, I think that makes it a closer game, but I still got New England.
All right. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Baltimore Ravens. So Minnesota had a close loss. They just overall, the thing with Minnesota is that, like what we said previously, Kirk Cousins, that fourth quarter, they were struggling. Kirk Cousins, he was throwing the ball out. The rush was coming to him, and he was frantic. It was just, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. The run game, I mean, it was up and down. Dalvin Cook was running the ball, and then
he got some yards, but they could not get in the end zone.
And then Jefferson was getting rocked, and Adam Thielen had that one touchdown. So they're away from home, and they're going to Baltimore. Now, they're going against a team, Baltimore, that got punched in the mouth by the Bengals. Now they're off their bye. I think they just awoken the Ravens, and the Ravens are going to go in there and dismantle the Vikings. I have Baltimore just for the simple fact that Lamar Jackson is going to just be creative. Now, I still think that Minnesota has a good pass rush, but I don't trust their secondary. Kendricks, of course, is an awesome leader, and I follow him. He's a good player. Let's just, with Baltimore going in, I mean, you've got a dual committee in Williams and Murray, and then also Mark Andrews. He's starting to pick up his rapport with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm, and Hollywood Brown's been on fire.
And then you also don't forget, once in the blue moon, you got Sammy Watkins decide he wants to play. So, you got a little something going on there. I got Baltimore.
Yeah, I got Baltimore too because Rashad Bateman got back last week, I believe. So they also got Rashad Bateman, who I'm hoping will have a good season now that he's back. Yeah, I just see Baltimore being a way better team than them. Got Baltimore.
All right. So we've got the Battle of Ohio. We've got the Cleveland Browns visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. So Cleveland, another loss to the big brother to Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to Eric. That's his squad here, the Steel City of Pittsburgh. It was a close game.
Yeah.
I felt that, again, Baker Mayfield could have done a little bit better in game management. Nick Chubb
didn't really do what we thought he would do.
Yeah.
But it was his first game back, so.
It's just that, again, there's no rapport with and I keep saying rapport. I can't believe it, but here's my thing. Mayfield and with Odell Beckham Jr., there's just no connection there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, I feel like when he's thrown it to Landry or Hopper, and then especially when you had Kareem Hunt back there too, when he comes back, I know it's going to help, but it's just I don't know. Odell is even the answer there anymore. I think he needs to get out of Cleveland.
Yeah, it looks like Baker hasn't even been looking his way. I know there's been a lot of drama going online with Odell's dad said some stuff online about Baker not looking his way. So there's some drama there between them. I don't think it's going to get any better by the end of the season. I think Jarvis Landry is number one. But, if they can get the run game going, I think they should be fine.
Mm-hmm. And then with Cincinnati, they were riding high, beating Baltimore, and then they lost to the Jets.
Hey, man, Jets, that's their second upset this year, man.
Yeah. So looking at this game here, I think through the years that I've seen these two play, it's probably going to be a high-scoring game, and someone's going to capitalize on a mistake. I'm going to give it to the home team. I'm going to take the Bengals. Yeah, we root for you, Chris. Our friend Chris here in the studio, he's a Bengals fan. So, yeah, we got the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll take Bengals, too, because, Joe Burrow still on fire. Jamar Chase, one of the best rookie, in my opinion. I think he should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. They still got T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. They got a great offense. They're lacking the offensive line, but that doesn't stop them from, putting up however many points and yards. Yeah, Bengals.
All right, so we've got the Buffalo Bills visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Buffalo, they're still the top in the AFC. They're going in with the leader Josh Allen, and of course we have the wide receivers in Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs, and a rising Cole Beasley. And Dawson Knox is back, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so we have that offensive machine, oil rig machine going into Jacksonville. All right, well, Jacksonville has had their one win. Not bad. But Buffalo's just going to tear them apart.
I agree, especially since, right now, James Robinson is day-to-day. We don't know if he'll be back this week. So, that leaves Carlos Hyde to take the wheel, starting running back.
He's still playing? I thought he was gone.
Yeah, so he's rising up to the occasion, but I feel like he has nowhere near the talent that James Robinson does. That's really going to hurt them, especially since they don't really have any elite receivers, in my opinion.
Well, Marvin Jones, that's his own. Trevor Lawrence and Marvin Jones they've hooked up quite a bit, but the other guys need to step up.
Yes, because only having Marvin Jones isn't going to cut it.
Odell needs to go to Jacksonville. He might get some reps.
Yeah.
So
we definitely got the Bills. They're going to blow them out the water.
All right, both agreed. So we've got the Houston Texans going to Miami to visit the Dolphins. Both teams suck. Sorry, guys. I have to throw it out there.
Agreed.
Shout out to our boy Chuck here, a big Houston fan. I know I'm going to hear it from him because his team just lost the World Series. Tough break, Chuck. We're sorry. Tough break. So they're going into Miami. Miami's in kind of a somewhat disarray. Now that there's talks about Deshaun Watson might go in over there, Tua's still the guy. We know that Tua's lacking some of the things that they would like in a quarterback. I just feel that Miami is just not the same right now this year. And then Devontae Parker, still not solid wide receiver. Gaskin has not been consistent. So it's just Miami's not playing to where they need to be. And Houston's coming into town. it's just really both teams are terrible. It's kind of like it's a roll of dice. Like, who am I going to choose? So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and take Houston.
I'll have to disagree. I'm going with the Dolphins. Despite how bad they've been doing all season, I think Tua's a great quarterback. He's not the best, of course, but I think, man, he's there. He'll do the job, what needs to be done. Jalen Waddle's been doing pretty good. Devontae Parker, he had a good last game, pretty decent, not too bad. But, and I feel like the only reason Myles Gaskin hasn't been doing too good is because the offensive coordinator's just been handing the ball to everybody, and the schemes each week just aren't cutting it for the teams they're playing. So I feel like they have a talented team. In my opinion, a much better talented team than the Texans at the moment. So I'll go with Miami.
All right. So next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the G-Men and the New York Giants. All right. So the Raiders are coming off a bye. They're going to play a team that almost beat your team, Kansas City. I know you were nervous. I could tell you were sweating. I bet you're about to go into cardiac arrest.
That's been happening a lot this season.
Yeah, you probably thought this was the big one because the way that the Giants were playing, I mean, they were playing pretty good. They just did boneheaded mistakes. I get it, but here's the thing: the Giants played well.
Did they play well, or did Kansas City just play bad? Think about that.
Well, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want you to walk out on me, and I have to do the show by myself. So for all the Chief fans, I gotta take it easy. I gotta take it easy here. Here's the thing: Raiders are on top of the pecking order in the AFC West right now. If the Chargers don't get, who we will talk next, if the Chargers don't get it together, this is the Raiders' opportunity. They've got a couple more games, and then for Thanksgiving they will play the Dallas Cowboys, which is going to be an interesting game. In this series, I feel the Raiders are going to win. It looks like it. I mean, right now with Ruggs with his, they just released him.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hurt them a little bit. But this is an opportunity for Renfrow to step up and everybody else to kind of, especially with Kenyon Drake. I mean, Drake is playing great for a second option, and so I still think the Raiders will ride on the momentum. Getting another, because right now they need as much wins as possible to make sure Kansas City does not catch up to them at all. I mean, they still have to play them twice still. Mm-hmm. So they're not out of the woods yet, but this is an opportunity for them to capitalize on a win and continue their momentum. So I'm taking the Raiders.
I will also take the Raiders. In my opinion, the only two good teams, or the only good team in the NFC East is the Cowboys. The second, which is a decent team, not that good, is the Redskins, the Washington football team. The Giants are just not, in my opinion, they're just not a good team. I think they're a terrible team. And compared to the Raiders are superstars, man. Even though they lost Henry Ruggs, I don't think it's that big of a blow because Henry Ruggs was really that deep route kind of guy. But Hunter Renfrow, I feel like, is more reliable. And, of course, like you said, Kenyon Drake, a great second option, and Josh Jacobs has been doing good. I feel like the Raiders are in a good position, and they should have no problem beating the Giants like we did.
You see how it got quiet? It was real quiet. I think everybody's gone. We'll see about that. We'll see. So, next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers going to visit the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia, taking on the Eagles. So the Chargers are coming off a loss to New England. Again, it was a better performance than they did in Baltimore, but again, just Justin Herbert, just not getting everything connected. Kind of get it because you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, you got Jared Cook. Use him. What's going on with you, Justin? Use him as your option. Austin Eckler, run the ball. The thing is the Chargers defensively, of course, besides Bosa, they give up a lot to the running backs. These guys, if I'm not mistaken, they give up almost 5 yards a carry. That's not good. Mm-hmm. And if the Chargers get into a situation where they're going to have to play catch-up ball, it's going to get worse. And they're not going to be able to ride on that. I thought that the Chargers... I still think the Chargers will make it. They will get in the playoffs. I think so. But if they want to be considered elite, they got to start eliminating the small mistakes. Now Philly, they're not the same. They're not the same. I think besides them and the Giants, they're pitiful this year in the NFC East. So I think the Chargers will get it together, and I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'll go with the Chargers too. Like I said about the NFC East earlier, I don't think the Eagles pose much of a threat to many teams. They haven't been doing too good. I feel like Devonta Smith, he'll have like a 100-yard receiving game, 2-touchdown game one week, and then the other week he just puts up like 5 yards. I feel like Devonta Smith is very inconsistent. And, you know, if you take Devonta Smith out of there, they don't really have any elite receivers. Jalen Reagor's all right, but he's not that elite receiver, that go-to that you can just throw to. And so they've been stepping it up in the run game. But, man, yeah, compared to the Chargers, I think the Chargers are set. They have an elite team still. I feel like they still have a chance to make the playoffs because, you know, they have a tough division there. But, yeah, I'll go with the Chargers this week.
All right. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals visiting my friend Marie, her team, the San Francisco 49ers. So shout out to Patrick as well, Isaiah Hernandez, and Willie. That's their squad. They're the 49ers. So Arizona is coming off if I'm not mistaken, a bye. They had that loss against the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
Which was a close game. I mean, AJ Green, this guy. If he would have just paid attention in the huddle, he wouldn't have had that problem. It's a divisional game. San Francisco is still hurting. I mean, Deebo Samuel's phenomenal wide receiver, him and Garoppolo. But the thing is when Garoppolo is playing, again, he's another quarterback that, again, when the pressure's on him, they just make dumb mistakes. Mm-hmm. And George Kittle's not there. That sucks. They don't have another prime wide receiver. So, and then defensively, I mean, they're just struggling.
Yeah.
They're struggling. Even though they had that win last week against Chicago, which was impressive, that they came from behind and won. They're going against the Cardinals. And I think the Cardinals are going to go into Levi Stadium and they'll probably beat them. So I'm going to – sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm taking Arizona.
Don't be sorry, man, because I got Arizona too. An elite offense. They should have beat the Packers, in my opinion, man. Just stupid offensive mistakes. Rondale Moore had 2 errors. He muffed a punt in like the 5-yard line. He allowed a pick because he tipped a ball and gave the Packers the ball in the red zone. And, of course, A.J. Green, at the very end of the game, just didn't want to look for the football. So it's just 3 big offensive mistakes that I see that shouldn't have happened. But other than that, hey, the Cardinals, they're a Super Bowl caliber team this year. So I got the Cardinals, man.
Real quick on Arizona. Let's say the playoffs would end today and they end up taking the number 1 seed. What team do you feel would give them the hardest time?
Would give them the hardest time in the NFC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. Of course, the Packers or the Buccaneers. I'll go with the Buccaneers over the Packers.
Well, they still have to play Dallas.
Yeah.
That's going to be a critical game. If Dallas can beat Arizona, that's going to prime Dallas to take either the second spot, and then that would leave up the Rams because right now the Rams only lost 1 game.
I forgot about the Rams. Those Rams are on fire. Yeah.
All right. Well, since you brought it up, we're going to talk about them. The Sunday night game, we have the Tennessee Titans visiting the Los Angeles Rams. That's so fine. All right. Yes, I can say fine, in the words of Skip Bayless, but SoFi Stadium, okay, just if you want to get technical. All right. There's no Derrick Henry for Tennessee. Julio Jones, not been really consistent. A.J. Brown has emerged. Ryan Tannehill's been playing all right.
Yeah, not too bad.
So they're going to go against a top-ranked defense and Aaron Donald, and who they just picked up, my boy Von Miller. So shout out to the Ram fans. Josh Barnes, I know you're a big Rams fan, so I know you're excited. This is going to be an interesting game because Matthew Stafford has changed that organization around. There's a huge difference between him and Jared Goff. Definitely. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, wow. That dynamic duo team, that's just, these guys are great. And especially added in Robert Woods and I'm not mistaken, did Deshaun Jackson get let go? I thought I don't know yet. Sure. We need to check, but they don't need him.
Yeah,
they don't need him. They're doing just fine the way they are. Then with Higbee, doing a little here, little there, but this is a hands down. If Derrick Henry would have been there, the games would have been different. I mean, yes, they did pick up Adrian Peterson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they picked Adrian Peterson.
So they picked him up, and there's going to be a dual running back committee going in there. This is a tough one for the simple fact, what is Tennessee going to do? How are they going to counter offensively with the defense going against the offense here of Los Angeles? Matthew Stafford's going to torch them because Buffalo, Indianapolis, they push Tennessee straight in the corner.
Yes.
And that was a divisional game, but I think this is a different beast. And the Rams, there's just so many weapons, and they're so well coached. They've got it down to a T. And this is one of my favorites. I'd like to say this is another team I'm going to put up there for the NFC Championship. I don't want to make sure I'm not jumping different teams, but the Cowboys is one of them. But I still think the Rams are up there.
Yes,
they're up there. So I'm going to take the Rams in this game.
Yeah, so Tennessee, they lost Derrick Henry. Big hit to them. And I will go with the Rams too, just because we haven't really seen, how the Titans look without Derrick Henry. They are such a run-heavy team and rely on him for so many different scenarios. Goal line, they run it all the time. I think Derrick Henry had at least 20 carries per game. And he's such a big part of that offense, and I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how they go forward without him. I don't think the run game is going to be as good unless the running backs can step up. So I think that, they'll have to rely on the pass game. Ryan Tannehill's going to have to step up. A.J. Brown has been stepping up. So if they can get that pass game going and at least have a decent run game, I feel like they should be fine. But just simply on the fact we haven't really seen that team without Derrick Henry, I'll go with the Rams because the Rams are an amazing team, like you said. One of the best teams in the NFC. Yeah, the Rams are on fire. So, yep, got the Rams.
Well, Tristan, do you think the Rams could do what Tampa Bay did last year? You think they could make it to the Super Bowl?
Yes, I do think they can.
That'd be crazy. A second team to represent the Super Bowl. The team, that'd be interesting because the last Super Bowl we saw, they lost to New England. So, all right, so we both got the Rams. All right. Next up for the Monday night game, we have the Bears, Chicago, visiting the Steel Curtain, Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to the Bears fan, Jimmy, and also shout out to our boy Eric here, big Pittsburgh fans. Chicago has been playing inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
They've been playing okay when they needed to be. I mean, they had that big win against the Raiders, but that was because the Raiders was in disarray with the whole John Gruden incident. But right now, Pittsburgh's on if I'm not mistaken, they're on is it a 3-game? They're on a 3-game winning streak.
I have no idea.
But they're barely winning.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben can't. I mean, I can throw further than Ben, maybe. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't I know someone's going to say, well, let's prove it. No. Okay. I'm just joking. But here's the thing. Najee Harris, he has stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have some other players that are, because wide receiver-wise, Juju's still out.
Yeah, they have Deontay Johnson, who is definitely Big Ben's favorite. And I think well-deserved because he's a really talented receiver.
Is Chase, last time I said
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, I said Chris, I think, last time. But, yeah, Chase, he's been kind of quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. I feel like, I don't know, he just doesn't get much targets, let alone receptions. So,
is he being double-teamed? Is that why?
Well, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he's been pretty quiet because I feel like besides Najee Harris is taking up a ton of the snaps because they love to run the ball with him. And plus, he's also, I think he's probably their second favorite target, Big Ben's, because he loves throwing to Najee Harris. And, of course, it's Deontay Johnson, so it's no surprise that Chase Claypool's been kind of quiet. But he's still a talented receiver. So I think any game he could have a breakout game.
So I'm taking Pittsburgh on this game.
Yes, I agree. I got Pittsburgh. I think they're a much more talented team. And at the moment, they're much more, how do I say this, not in chaos or disarray. So, yeah, I got Pittsburgh winning this game.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out and thank you to our following sponsors. All right, you guys. Well, the game of the week, we have the Green Bay Packers visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Tristan, your team. So, the big news of the week, we just found out that Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID, so he's out. So we're going to see Jordan Love get his first official start. This is a team that has only lost one game. Green Bay's only lost one game, and that was to the Saints. Now we got a team in the Chiefs, on the other hand. They got their win Monday night against the Giants. Now, let's focus a little bit on the Green Bay side. Aaron Rodgers is not there. It's like, what? He's not there. The peerless, the leader, giving you the best discount double checks ever. The guy is not going to be there, so it's going to be different. But Coach LaFleur, you drafted Jordan Love for a reason. You started this drama that you got a quarterback. Is Devontae Adams back yet?
Yeah, he'll be back this week.
Okay, and I believe Aaron Lazard is going to be back.
I think so.
So you got weapons coming back. Okay, all right. We already know Kansas City's still struggling defensively. I mean, a high school team can run up against your guys' defensive line. I mean, you guys can't stop the run. You guys let Kyle Rudolph and Ingram get touchdowns. I mean, that's ridiculous. Mahomes is still throwing interceptions. He's making kind of boneheaded mistakes. But overall, you know, Mahomes, this is a staple game for him. And this is why. They're at a crossroads right now. They can't afford another loss. If they want to ride the momentum and possibly try to get the division, they have to win.
Yeah.
And they're at home. And I've been to a game. I've been to a Packers and Chiefs game at Arrowhead, and it's going to be a wave of yellow. Usually Chief fans are strong, but I'm telling you, Green Bay fans, they travel well. And I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to stick to it. If they play their cards right and they take advantage of the Chiefs' weaknesses, I'm going to take Green Bay. I'm going to take Green Bay. And I feel that Aaron Rodgers is going to, you know, coach a little bit Jordan Love, tell him, hey, this is what you got to do. And Matt LaFleur is going to come up with the game plan. So I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers. Who are you taking?
Man, I have a lot to say about this one. Chiefs have been very disappointing this season. I think it's obvious. I think last game they showed a picture, and it was like Chiefs have allowed like 6.6 yards per drive, which is the worst in the NFL. Per game, they've allowed the most yards and the most points. Just like, and defensively, we're the lowest of the low. We're terrible, and I hate to say that, but it's true. And then that wasn't really in my opinion, I didn't see that as an enormous problem at the beginning of the season, because at least our offense could produce. But after watching this Giants game, our offense was struggling. Even though Mahomes was throwing like 2 picks a game, he'd still have the air yards, and he'd still have the touchdowns to back it up. And, you know, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But if we can't score points, then, you know, that is a problem. And we were struggling against that New York Giants team. So seeing that now our offense is struggling too, man, I want to say that the Chiefs will win, especially since Aaron Rodgers is out. But I feel like even with Rodgers out, they still got the weapons to win. They still got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the backfield. So if they don't have a lot of success passing the ball, they can just run it, and they'll be perfectly fine because it's the Chiefs' defense, right? And, you know, Devontae Adams, I don't care who his quarterback is, he's going to produce. So I'll have to go against my team this week just because, man.
What? Stop the press, everybody. Chief fans, did you hear that? Hey, do we got that recorded? Eric, did you hear that? Yes, he got a thumbs up. You just said your team's going to lose?
Hey, man, you just got to look at the facts. You got to look at what's going on. And this season, we have been a wreck. And like I said, it's simply due to the fact that even our offense isn't producing. Our offense has been struggling. Man, and if our offense can't produce, our defense is going to allow like 30 points a game. There's nothing we can do. So, yeah, I'll go with the Packers this week. And I really hope that I get proven wrong, because if I get proven wrong, woo, man,
I don't even know how to act right now. My notes, everything just went in disarray, because it's like and for the audience, this guy's decked out Kansas City. This guy bleeds red and yellow. Red and yellow. It's crazy. I mean, because right now, Andy Reid, he needs to get it together offensively to say, hey, you know what, you guys, we need to start better handling the ball.
We've allowed so many turnovers this season compared to last season, and we're barely on week 9. The amount of turnovers that Patrick Mahomes has allowed and our offense as a whole, man, it's been ridiculous.
And if I'm not mistaken, aren't you guys got a tougher schedule ahead of you guys?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. We have the toughest schedule in the NFL for the second half of the season. We've got a really tough schedule. So.
I mean, you still got to play America's team
in the Cowboys, Dallas. The Chargers one more time, the Raiders again.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, we
haven't
haven't played
them
once.
Twice.
So, yeah, we've got
still got to play Pittsburgh if that's the right team coming in. I mean, who knows?
And the Bengals.
Well,
I think you're sleeping on the Bengals. I think the Bengals are a great team.
Hey, I don't want Chris to get mad at me, but here's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers would have been there even more, I would have said, yeah, you guys are going to get stomped. But now I'm just going to choose Green Bay for the simple fact I want to see Jordan Love. He's the one I'm real curious about, because the simple fact, Coach LaFleur drafted him. You made Aaron Rodgers upset. I mean, the guy almost went to Jeopardy, for dear God. He almost went over there. He's like, forget football. I'm going to be in Jeopardy. And then more commercials. I had to see more State Farm commercials. But this is the quarterback for the future of the Green Bay Packers. So this is his time to shine.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's no Aaron Rodgers. I'll give you that. But this is the time to rise in this occasion. You have to demonstrate, hey, you know what? I was worthy of getting picked up, and I take Aaron Rodgers. I'll be, under his tutelage, learn. And because right now the NFC North, especially with Detroit struggling, Chicago inconsistent, Minnesota here and there. I mean, they can run that division for a while.
Yeah.
So this is a great game to see against adversity, going into a hostile environment in Kansas City. This is going to be a game that we're going to see what Green Bay is going to bring to the table. Is the Honey Badger really going to shut down Devontae Adams? I mean, Devontae Adams is one of the best wide receivers in the game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge. Then also, are they going to stop the run? Or again, are they going to let them run all over the Kansas City defense? So I think it's going to be a one-possession game. I think Green Bay will win by 7 or 10. I mean, I would say 7, but I may be wrong. I've been already wrong a couple times already. So for the game of the week, I am going to take the Green Bay Packers.
Yep, and unfortunately, I will take the Green Bay Packers too. And, unless they just have a week, unless they just had this week and turn it around within a week, man, that defense is really what kills us. If it wasn't for the defense, even with our struggling offense, if at least we had a mediocre defense, I think, hey, maybe the Chiefs. But, man, because even if Jordan Love can't produce, they still got 2 great running backs in the backfield that will run all over the Chiefs defense. So, yeah, that's the reason I'm going with Green Bay.
All right, we got that. So before we go, I want to say, first of all, congratulations and shout out to all the Atlanta Braves fans. especially here at home. Shout out to Brian Still and the family. Also, Taylor, a.k.a. Tay. Congratulations. And also to my friend Aaron. You guys finally did it. You have not been to a World Series since 1999. You haven't won it since 1995. Congrats. I mean, that's awesome. You guys won it in Game 6. Good job with Houston. It was a good run. They beat the Chicago White Sox. They beat my team, the Boston Red Sox. It's just they came up short. So congratulations to all the Atlanta fans. Also, I want to say thank you always for the people behind the scenes, in Eric, Andrew, and Paolo. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to the friends who listen, that tune in. We appreciate it. Also to family, thank you. Also, I want to let you guys know we will do an upcoming event. We've like and subscribe. Follow us on Razor Cut Information. We also have other channels. If you're into the movies, we do movie reviews, Space Cosmos movie reviews. Also, we do Wichita Vice. If you want to inquire more about heroes, we're going to do a special edition for Eternals. And also, we're going to do one for Dune. So tune into that. And I just want to say, again, thank you to everyone that tunes in, that follows us. This is your host, Carlos.
And this is Dristan.
All right, you guys, we'll tune in and we'll talk to you into the next episode. Thank you, guys.